just heard the word transition and immediately the light bulb went off in my head. The power of the transition movement is already in its name.
It's a grassroots movement, so we start at the bottom.
A lot of our food comes from halfway across the planet. How are we going to get the food here once oil runs out?
If we can arrange activities like juicing days where people can bring barrow loads of apples to the juicing day, they can take away the juice. So that means they'll be looking after their trees better because they'll want to maximise the produce.
Do you have a boiler, like a gas boiler for heating as well? So we've got boiler and radiators?
Yes.
Do you have a chimney balloon?
No, what a good idea that might be, because I reckon that's probably only lit once a year, and that'll be Christmas Day.
Because the outside is well draft-proofed, it doesn't make a difference.
No.
The only thing being is that they're both single glazed.
50 centimetres.
Oh right, so we're
So
going.
you'd be interested in putting a wood burner in
Well,
there?
I would, yes. When you get a good old southeaster coming in, it rattles away like that. They don't, but like this at night times.
But they're hopeless, aren't they?
Absolutely hopeless.
I lose track of how many. It's probably near 1,000 trees to plant in here. Most of them hazel, but we're also going to be planting some oak, ash and cherry. I'd really like to concentrate on clearing the ground of all this brash, so on the 6th of March when we plant all these trees we've actually got some space to plant them in.
Well, every Thursday, a group of local people, mostly ladies, get out all their ingredients and start baking and cooking for the market every Friday. Where possible, we use local ingredients and things from our own garden. What country markets came from was from the WI after the war, when people had surplus produce and nothing was allowed to go to waste, and that's why WI markets set up, which became WI country markets, and now we've separated from the WI and have become country markets as a separate entity. So it was all about reduction of waste right from that time, and it's carried on through, which was very forward thinking in those days. But then nobody wasted anything then.
People find it hard to believe how much food we actually get from the back of a supermarket.
Malvern Community Forest came to the youth centre to make these nest boxes, which was brilliant.
Well, this is the intergenerational project from Malvern Youth Centre, which is also linked to the cafe here called the Heebie Jeebie Cafe. We're at the point of having some of the willow in place. We've got a pond that's been dug, it's half full, creating spaces for vegetables and plants and herbs to grow. And what we hope to do in the next year, maybe 2 years, is to develop some more of the planting opportunities, especially vegetable plots, also some composting areas. But we are hoping to carry on and do more of the sort of reskilling, or try and teach especially young people some of the skills that might be getting lost over the ages. And we're working with a cross-section of ages, so probably youngest being sort of 7 or 8. All the way through to people who are 50s and 60s.
The library have now got a waiting list of 20. Catherine Lee's librarian has said to me, it's all been a great success, and can they have some more monitors, please? Which is really nice.
I drive to Booker's once in a blue moon now to pick up the few things I can't get locally. We use Mike at Greenlink, veg and things on Church Street, Brand Tub obviously. We got generally 12 different cakes which I make here, and locally sourced organic tubs of ice cream, and they're in cardboard rather than the plastic that we get all the selective ice creams in. I don't have any food waste. We sometimes have a bit of bread left over, and we're not throwing stuff away wholesale. Cutting that down was essential.
When I heard about the Coldwell Car Club, it seemed ideal to me because I could have the use of a car when I wanted it without the worry and the expense of running my own. I'm rather fortunate in living near the centre of the village, where we have access to very good public transport links, including the railway station. The Saphira is very useful for moving small pieces of furniture, taking rubbish to the tip, and being a 7-seater, it's also useful for carrying family and friends.
As part of the Transition Malvern Hills Food Group, we thought it would be a great idea to encourage people to start growing their own food. I think I drew inspiration from the garden share scheme in Totnes and thought this would be a really good scheme to have in Malvern. This has attracted all age groups. We have a lady with a 6-week-old baby. She takes her along to the garden, and that particular garden is actually being shared by 3 different growers. This is an ongoing project, and we really would welcome more garden owners to come forward and more growers, and let's grow together.
There's a visible picture around the outside.
Yes.
And in the middle is the thermal picture. So I'll just get that into focus. Ooh, nice warm windows. Okay.
Action.
Yeah, off you go. There it is. It's streaking across the ceiling there.
All the way around.
All the way around. You can virtually see where the fireplace is there. See it?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, bad at the top.
Oh, yeah.
Very bad at the top. Have a look at the floor
You can
here.
see it, yeah.
But it's coming up between the carpet and the skirting board.
It goes down to the floor and then there's obviously a leak.
Yeah, all the way along there.
All the way around it.
Oh, there's a leak on the right hand side.
Oh dear.
Between the frame and the ceiling strip. It's just in there. And
Oh,
then
big one at the top.
a lot
there.
at the top. Oh yeah.
Sort of assume because you've got double glazing there won't be any drafts.
There are so many connections. It's quite a resilient system. It has a degree of resilience. If you're an oak tree or a beech tree, then you just let go of your connections. There's still some strength in the system. It still retained its basic structure, but there's a bit of slack in there. Now the owls' nesting sites are gone. When there are so many shops and so many of the connections go, then the system collapses.
Do you know what this plant is?
No, I'm just looking.
If you want butterflies in your garden, this is a good one to put in. Seed them.
Yesterday we were sweeping here and we were looking at these plants this morning, and they sort of had some children who were coming all around, and they were like planting all this.
And what are these plants?
I think these are cabbages.
Yes.
And I expect these are beetroot. There are strawberry plants, and sometimes during the summer, they get picked and we're allowed them for fruit. They were made by a class, and they've used them to put some seeds in. It wasn't just one.
And what's a good idea about these? Why are they special ones?
Because when they grow, they have leaves which give us oxygen. They're made out of newspaper. That one's made out of a crisp packet.
So why is it good to have them made out of newspaper?
Because it's recycling. And these are some plants that we're using out of the old ice cream pots. And it's alright if I pick one of these, because these are alright to pick. And if you smell one of these, they actually smell really nice.
What have you got there to show Nathan?
It's a bit of the greenhouse that got burnt. The people who were coming round might not know that we're an eco school and we're trying to attract mini beasts.
Molly is good at looking after bees and all the bugs. She's the bug monitor.
They get the nectar and they make honey for us to eat, and also especially because when they drink all the nectar and they get it on their legs, well, they take it back to the hive, or on the way they sometimes sprinkle more of it onto the other flowers to keep them going for a while.
What's the stuff they collect on the legs? You know, Eleanor.
Nectar.
What was it, Chantal?
Pollen. Sometimes you can call it pollen and nectar. We've been making bird feeders and putting bird food in them.
Push them into the apples and then hang them up on a tree. You tie a string around it and then the birds come and sit on it and start eating the seeds.
And if they're still hungry, they can eat the apple as well.
Yeah. You can do it on the back
if you can get them through, because some of them are quite softer, and then you can just do it again and again. It will save you from buying proper big bird feeders.
The children this year have started a phenology board. They're recording all of the different species as they arrive within the grounds. So we're going to keep a map of all of the different species and where they're coming up, and we will actually be able to help with phenology studies, which ultimately are helping people understand climate change and how it's happening.
The advantage of moving turf and putting a geotextile down is that you have then at least done the job, where maintenance is quite
So the path there is going to be everyday use for kids coming in and out.
Well,
so if you're above that and 4 inches of bar.
And then it is marked as something separate, something that people, I feel we don't get right from it's quite a rural aspect.
And if you put a border and step it up, you put a step up. That was the thinking of it. We know where we're going.
That's really important.
So the fencing's first then, and then it's turf or not to turf is next, isn't it?
Yeah, well I think we've got no choice.
Okay,
But
so we're going to need turf.
I mean, we're allowed to that anyway, haven't we?
So people will try and walk to school, share a car, come by bike or whatever means of not trying to use a car as much. So some people that maybe live in Ledbury, they could park, say, over by the pub down there, and they could walk. That's still classed as walking quite a bit. So they're saving the fuel to get from there to here. And you're allowed to share a car, which means even though you're using a car still, there's two people in there, so you're taking one car off the road. Some people will just turn up with 3-4 people in their cars. And people that live next to each other, like neighbours that go to the same school, will bring other children on alternate days. There will be a monitor for each chart in each class, and what they'll do is they'll come round and they'll say, so-and-so, have you walked today? And they'll say yes or no, and they'll get a sticker if they do. And then on the Friday assembly, best walking class or sharing or cycling will win a prize. People sometimes drive from the other side of the bridge, not needing to, but they'll drive. And then when school week comes, they might cycle on their bike and they might think, well, I quite like this. I'd rather cycle my bike to school than I would drive a car and not talk to my mates while I'm walking to school. And I think sometimes it does sway people towards trying to walk as much as they can.
We had a rubbish-free lunch.
So we wanted
Sort of like
a yogurt pot.
Sandwich in a plastic bag.
In a plastic
box, not in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Because you weren't allowed anything to put into the bin. So you weren't really allowed to have any chocolate or anything. You'd have to take off the wrappers. And it sort of melted it, really, I think. Yeah, I thought that was a good idea.
Especially when you're sitting in the middle of a wood. We're going back there as well.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what we're doing there. Our topic is Island Adventure.
Yeah,
I think we will be
we're doing mostly mini beasts at the moment.
Yeah. We were trying to recycle paper, but we really had nowhere to put it in a big container for a long time storage. So they thought that it would be good to have paper banks, seeing that other schools in the area had paper banks, so it makes sense if we had one too.
So it's not just for our school, it's for everyone in the village.
I just saw one tadpole. When we first came, there was loads of those grassy things in the water.
I found some little jumpy bugs over there.
My friend Arthur, he actually found a centipede.
Found some wolf spiders. I think 3 or 2 wolf spiders. He was running really fast and he was going in the water. Look, he's walking on water. Or is it just he's got long legs?
Hey, look, the shell.
Oh yeah, that's a sea snail, I think.
Yeah. Why is it doing in a pond like this?
We do lots of stuff in for our schools, and we make loads of things, but only using natural resources.
You choose a seed and you plant it wherever you want around here, and you just hope that it grows.
And we're not allowed to tread on flowers.
People have been saying they see snakes up here. We choose our our own, like there are cuddly toys that would be likely to be living in these areas. And we make a little like a den, and we make our own furniture.
Once we had to close our eyes and guess what we could hear.
When we got all the twigs together in a ring, and we all sat inside and closed our eyes, and once we'd heard once we'd heard 5 things, we could open our eyes and show what we'd heard and everything. I find if you're doing a piece of work, it's a lot more inspirational to do it outside.
Our topic this last term was on World War II, and we were learning about it, and we came to a stage where we were learning about Dig for Victory, and we studied that for quite a bit, and then our teacher decided to come up with the phrase Dig for Sustainability, and we obviously made some posters, as you can see. We made up, because in the war they made posters for kids to get enthusiastic about the veg and for them to start growing the produce, and as you can see, some of them are like paddy parsnip, and some of them we've named after ourselves
and named them after celebrities.
We've got Billy Bean after Michael Jackson,
Tina Turner,
and it's got catchphrases like digging,
and a performance to put on your plate. So once we've made them, we planted potatoes in these in the beds.
We measured it all up to make sure the potatoes weren't too squashed and they wouldn't be grown into other people's roots.
And we have the sundial and the bird bath. Well, it's not really a bird bath, but it's just a tub full of water in the ground.
But we've got quite a few stuff. We've got, as you said, a bird bath, compost bins, a worm barrel, which we put compost in, and just so the worms can eat, and
you put
all the scraps, like
all the fruit
and stuff, and the worms will take that away. And then after a while, we would take this out and put it into the bed as compost.
We've put little signs in most of the classrooms and in the corridor as well. So.
Yeah. I put one on the door that said, please turn the lights off, and another one near the light switch that said, please turn the lights off as well, near the light switch in the classroom. I liked the bit when we started making it, because we all got to put all different colours on it and stick it down.
Sea levels are rising and islands like Maldives are under threat. The sea level Maldives are under threat. The sea levels are rising at 9 millimetres every year, and a certain part of Maldives is only 1 metre above sea level. I hope none of the animals will lose their homes and go extinct forever. I think we should walk more often and only drive if you have to. So only drive if you have to go to a special event. Hopefully these willow structures will grow to be really green and shady.
Yeah, kind of like the grass houses that we built.
Yeah.
It'll be really green.
We've got some little forks over there I'm going to give you to help dig up, because if you leave in just even a tiny bit of root, you know what's going to happen? Going to grow again. So we're going to use our little forks, we're going to make sure that they're properly out with all the root, and then just around the back we've got the compost heap, so we're going to go and put those over in there. Okay? It's going to be a little flower. Okay then, George. You've got them really good. And the next bit.
Just a few, and then you need to sprinkle, 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 sprinkle.
I've got 4. My stickers, I've got 4.
4, right.
Can I put them in now?
You watch where Matthew's doing them. Cover those up. Only just a little bit of soil. Just a sprinkling. So you can't see the seeds anymore.